Todd Young Online presents Young Tales. Tales for the young and the young at heart. Today's story, Bulfinch's mythology, King Arthur and his knights. The story of Sir Percival and the Grail. In the far green reaches of Wales, where the mists lie deep upon the hills, there lived a widow lady in a lonely wood. She had once been wife to a great knight and mother to 3 brave sons. But 2 were slain in battle, and the 3rd, her youngest, was all that remained. Fearing that fate had taken the others, she hid the boy away from the world. And there, among the deer and the birds, Percival grew. He knew nothing of court or king, of sword or spear. His weapon was but a little Scots spear, and with it he hunted the wild deer and fowl. So swift and sure was his aim that none could match him. Yet one morning, as he roamed the forest, fate stirred his heart, for out of the trees rode 5 horsemen in gleaming armor, their lances bright as sunbeams. "Mother, what are those yonder? Angels from heaven?" "Aye, my son," she said sadly, "angels indeed." "Then by faith I will go and become an angel with them." And before she could call him back, he had vanished into the forest, following the shining rider. He caught them by the road, fearless and curious as a child before the sun. "Tell me, good sirs," he asked, "are you angels?" "Nay, lad, we are men, knights of King Arthur's court." "Then teach me how I may become one." "Learn first what you see. This is a saddle, this a sword, this the spur that drives the steed, and this the spear that strikes for honor." And so the knights showed him their harness, their arms, and the meaning of knighthood. In return, he told them of his forest home and of his mother, who believed them angels. When they rode away, Percival's heart burned with wonder. He would go to Arthur's court and be a knight himself. He returned home, breathless with excitement. "Mother, they were not angels, but knights, and I will be one of them." She fainted at the words. When she woke, she saw it was useless to hold him back. "Then go, my son, and seek the court of King Arthur. Tell him thou art the son of Pellinore, and ask for his knighthood. When thou seest a church, say thy prayer. When thou findest food, take it. When thou hearest the cry of one in distress, ride to aid them. And if thou findest a fair jewel, win it. Yet give it freely again, for so shalt thou win honor. And if thou seest a fair lady, pay her respect, for thus shalt thou earn love." Then she kissed him once more, and let him go, not knowing that she would never see him again. Riding through the wild hills, Percival came upon a bright tent by a meadow stream. Thinking it a church, he stopped and whispered his prayers. Then, being hungry, he stepped inside, and there sat a maiden with a golden frontlet on her brow and a ring upon her hand. "My mother taught me to greet fair ladies with respect. I salute you, maiden." "Sir," she started, "you had better go quickly. My lord will return soon and may do you harm. My mother said also, when I see food and drink, I may take them if I am in need." And he ate heartily, for he was very hungry. Then, seeing the ring upon her hand, he said simply, "My mother told me if I see a fair jewel to take it." He slipped the ring from her finger, yet in his innocence gave her his own in return and rode away. When he reached Camelot, King Arthur's court was in an uproar. A proud and lawless knight had just insulted Queen Guinevere, striking a goblet from her page's hand so that the wine splashed her gown. "If any dare avenge this insult," he cried, "let him follow me to the meadow." But none moved, for all believed the man protected by magic. Then into the hall rode Percival, astride his bony piebald horse, his rough pack saddle tied with twigs. "Tall man, is that King Arthur yonder?" Percival asked. "My mother told me I must seek him and beg knighthood." "Thou a knight?" Sir Kay mocked him. "By my faith, boy, thou art fit only to herd goats." The court laughed, all but one maiden, a lady who had not smiled in a year. She looked on Percival and smiled for the first time. If he lives, she said, he shall be the flower of chivalry. For this, Sir Kay struck her across the face. Then he turned to Percival and sneered, "Go, fool, take back the goblet and the armor of the knight who fled. Bring them to Arthur, and thou shalt have knighthood." "That I will do," said Percival simply, and rode away. In the field beyond the castle, the proud knight waited. "Boy, go back. Arthur sends me no warrior fit for battle. The tall man in the hall bade me take thy horse, thy armor, and thy goblet. Whether thou yield them or I win them, I care not." The knight struck him hard with his spear, but Percival, in rage, cast his wooden staff like lightning. It pierced the man's eye and came out at the back of his head. Thus, Percival won his first battle. Not long after, Percival rode to a lake where stood a fair castle. There sat an old man on a velvet cushion, his servants fishing in the water. The old man rose, welcomed him kindly, and led him inside. When they had eaten, the old man said, I am thy mother's brother, and my name is King Petur, the Fisher King. Thou shalt dwell here a while and learn the ways of chivalry and courtesy. Only this I charge thee. If thou seest anything that causes wonder, ask not its meaning. If it be not told thee, the blame lies with me, not with thee. While they spoke, two youths entered the hall, one bearing a golden cup that shone with holy light, the other a spear dripping with blood. At the sight of these relics, all in the hall began to weep. But Percival, remembering his uncle's warning, asked no question. The cup was the Holy Grail, and the spear the sacred weapon of the Passion. But the meaning of their mystery was not yet for him to know. Sometime later, Percival came upon a hermit's cell in a lonely valley. At dawn, he stepped outside to see the snow had fallen in the night. A hawk had struck a bird, and a raven perched upon it. He gazed upon the blackness of the raven, the whiteness of the snow, and the redness of the blood. The thought of the lady he loved best, her hair darker than jet, her skin fairer than snow, her lips red as the wound. While he pondered thus, King Arthur and his knights came by in search of him. Sir Kay, ever proud, called out harshly, and Percival, still lost in thought, gave no answer. Kay struck him with his lance, and Percival, turning swiftly, cast him from his horse, breaking his arm. Then came Sir Gawain, the gentlest knight in Arthur's court. Good night, I come from King Arthur to pray thee return with us, Gawain said courteously. Two have come before me, and thou hast taught them both manners. Percival smiled. They were uncourteous and attacked me first, but thou art gentle, and I will ride with thee. So they spoke together, and each found joy in the other's heart. Tell me, good knight, Percival said, is the tall man who struck the maiden still in Arthur's hall? He is, and sorely bruised. Then I am glad. I have avenged the maiden's honor. Thus Percival came again to Arthur's court, and where the king greeted him as one long sought. The queen smiled kindly, and all the court rejoiced, for they saw in him the promise of a purer age. And so began the tale of Sir Percival, the innocent knight, whose heart was as clear as the Grail he would one day behold. For though he had not yet asked the question that would heal the wounded king, heaven had already chosen him for that destiny. And thus ends the beginning of the quest of the Holy Grail. And here's where we end for today. Young Tales is produced and narrated by Todd Young from ToddYoungONLINE. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe and join us next time for another story. Thank you for your support.